That was your grandfather. What was his name, Jim?
No, his father.
Oh, your father.
Jack.
Jack, John.
Jack
Bolger.
Bolger. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you see, we lived right next door to him here. Right, it's only a few years. You see, I told you that the two places were, the two Haggards are joining, you know, because there were two different places, but they were right next door. And he was always up here when the boys were small. He'd want them to go, he was getting old at the time, to open gates to go to see that loads of cattle and sheep that time. He'd sheep everywhere.
There were sheep everywhere. Sheep out in Ballinavary.
He used to have land rented.
You gone all day with?
He used to have the world of sheep, you know.
But
there could be 500 or 600
he'd come
sheep
to the
here,
door and
maybe,
he'd say,
at
so
one
now
time.
one of them young lads. But now I'd say the three boys be around. No, we're not going with Grandad anymore. No, he gave out to us the other day and we're not going with him. And he'd be outside the door. Will some of them little so-and-sos come out here, be damned. I'm not going to be waiting all day. But this day anyway, I said to James, his brother, I said, it's your turn today, James, to go with Grandad to open the gate. I'm not going with him. He hit me the last day. I'm not going. And I said, you'll have to go, he's out there, and he was shouting in the door, you know. And he said, well, if you want to know something, he says, he gave out about you as well. Me. I said, did he? What did Grandad say about me? He said, you had a big fat arse. I said, I'm a fecker anyway. I said, go on and get out. Get into the car with him, and he was out there, James wouldn't go because he gave out about me.
He'd say
that. No, that'd be only a joke. He couldn't care less. He'd just say that.
He said, I'd say over to him.
He'd say it and he wouldn't. Oh, it was awful funny.
What did you say about the young lads who were working with him? What was that again?
Oh yeah, they were no good for. Oh yeah,
This is Jack now, yeah.
This is Jim's father, yeah. I'd say, how did your new workman get on? He's some young lad, local lads from around, you know. And he said, I tell you now, he's no good. He was no good for anything. He says, only eating and shiting.
But I tell you what, he was real good at though. If a chap came up to me,
he was good.
We always had sheep, like,
He was good natured.
And if he happened to chap come up the road, do you want to work? He said, no. I do. Get in there and try the man. And if he made any shape, then he'd get him down the next day if he had a day off, like, He was real good that way, like, And chap would be always looking for a few bob, and he'd always give him a few bob.
He was real good natured.
You know what I mean? You know, right on the world, As there was lads that worked here, won't mention names or any. Oh, Jesus, if you went to Jack Bolger, you get a few pound. If you went to the mother country, you get nothing, like, you know what I mean? You know, right? Okay, like, they give you any money, he said, you know, right? But my father was on that because of my father, Skinner West and them, we used to have land down there. And Skinner used to often say to my father, Shea and Padge used to fight, going up in the gate, because when they open the gate for the gate, you get a half crown or something, And there used to be a race for the gate with the two boys, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. There was a lad by the name of Paddy Hudson, he worked here. That's a really good character for that. He'd take my father off well ever from me, But they were going, he'd say, maybe Hudson come out now to do something, might not, and he'd bring him in down car, big old lass and came in the car.
Another chap from the town as well.
And he'd bring a man out to Ballinavary. We used to take land all over the country that time, like, you know, right? And he'd go see the sheep and all, you know, right? But with big old sheep that we had, he'd sort of an Alsatian's head on him, like, you know? And the old dog would get in and sit down with your feet quiet stuff and he'd look up at you then like an impotent child, like, you know. And this Hudson said to me father this day anyway, he says to me, father, that dog bite you? No, says my father, says, he don't eat Karen, like, you know. And Hudson was very quick and he turned around and he said to me, if he's fucking thinking that, he says, if he did, he says, you've been gone long ago, that was my father, like, the dog would be after hitting you, like, you know. Oh, jeez, he was the character, I don't remember my grandfather now, you know, right?
And you couldn't remember him?
No.
And that was the man he came out from Tom Brack then, the grandfather.
Yeah.
Down from the hills.
Down the hills, right?
Yeah.